Hey, it's AT time. My name is Ron Friedman, and today on Animation Trainers, we're going to be continuing the series here called My Animation Journey, and specifically talking about the end of my time at Creative Capers and my next job following that, which proved to be my least favorite of my entire career so far. And to make sure you don't miss any of the other videos that we post here on Animation Trainers, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and switch the notification bell to all. And check out the links in the description below to our website and to our Patreon page, where you get a full hour of over-the-shoulder animation lessons and a full hour of animation feedback every weekend for only $1 an hour. During my last year at Creative Capers Entertainment, we were working for a Swedish software company called Pan Interactive on a 3D game called Atom Blaster. I was really enjoying doing computer animation because unlike the 2D work I had been doing at Creative Capers up until that point, CG meant I didn't have to render the character myself, and my draftsmanship no longer affected my ability to do my work. I could focus entirely on the performance, and it was absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, the game did not end up seeing the light of day, and after that project ended, Creative Capers didn't have any other animation work lined up. I was the last animator that they kept on staff, but with only 2D consumer product artwork on the horizon, they didn't have anything else for me and they had to let me go. I'd been at Creative Capers for 7 years, and I was devastated that I had to find a new place to work. But I did find a new job at a studio called Threshold Digital Research Labs. Unfortunately, the studio was located in Santa Monica, California, and I was living in an apartment in Burbank. So working there meant having to drive 5 days a week to and from in extremely heavy traffic. The studio was kept very dark with minimal lighting. It was basically on a sound stage, so that meant that they had all the desks set up next to each other, and because of that, everyone was expected to stay extremely quiet, and there were no walls to deflect sound. And so because we were forced to act as if we were working in a library, there was something slightly oppressive about working there. The artists I was working with were extremely talented, but we were somewhat limited by the software we were forced to use. The studio was using Lightwave 3D, which was the most affordable, but also maybe the least user-friendly 3D software application at the time. As an example, when you selected an object, you had to also manually select to load the channel boxes for that object in the graph editor. That's something that's done automatically now, and to have to do that manually seems almost archaic. You can imagine how much longer everything took because of those extra steps. It really messed with one's flow, and wasn't much more than a couple steps above when they had to enter numeric values in a spreadsheet back in the early Pixar days. The vibe at the studio, coupled with the frustrations of the software and the exhaustion of being in that daily heavy traffic, meant that I was extremely unhappy. I would cry sometimes driving to work because I dreaded having to spend 8 hours there. But I will say that all that blood, sweat, and tears was not for nothing, because together we created an amazing attraction film for the Hershey Chocolate Company that they featured at their tour in Hershey, Pennsylvania, called Hershey's Really Big 3D Show. I actually had the privilege of seeing it in person in 2009 while I was in the process of moving to Massachusetts. I made sure to stop in Pennsylvania and get to see our work firsthand, and I'm glad I did before the attraction closed in 2013. I worked with some incredibly talented people at Threshold Digital Research Labs, including my cubicle mate George Macery, who since went on to open his own studio called Rubberbug, became one of the top instructors for lynda.com, as well as now producing his own animation content. Todd Grimes, who went on to direct Star Wars Detours for Lucasfilm, as well as other projects. And Jeremy Yates, who, after leaving Threshold, joined a small game studio that you might have heard of by the name of Naughty Dog, and has been there ever since, working on such titles as the Uncharted series and The Last of Us. Maybe you've heard of them. Comment quiz! What was the first animation you remember seeing in a video game that really impressed you? I would love to know in the comments below. Remember, every comment gets a cookie. Seriously, it means a lot to the channel for you to comment or even just say hi. Anyway, because I was not happy at Threshold, I was looking on the job boards and postings every single day to see if I could find something that would get me out of the cave. And finally, I landed one at a brand new studio in Glendale, California called Fantagram Entertainment. In the next video in the series, I will tell you more about my time at Fantagram Entertainment, where I learned some of the essential skills that got me a job at Lucasfilm working for Industrial Light and Magic. And to make sure you don't miss that video in this series, or any of the other videos that we post here on Animation Trainers, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and switch that bell. Or better still, join our Patreon, where you get new 1-hour over-the-shoulder animation sessions and a full hour of animation feedback every week for only $1 an hour at patreon.com/animation trainers. You too can join our students, our trainees, and our beloved patrons, who have my eternal thanks for their continued support of this channel. They get all the cookies. Or would you prefer to have a private session with me, where we can discuss how to improve your animation skills working with me directly, one-on-one? Then please visit our website at animationtrainers.com and schedule a session with me. My name is Ron Friedman, and I hope that we will see you for our next video here at Animation Trainers. In the meantime, keep it moving.